If your asylum case has been pending with USCIS for multiple years and you want to get your interview scheduled so that you can win your case and proceed down that path to US citizenship, well then, this video is for you. You see, if your case is stalled such that you've been waiting for your interview at the asylum office for years with no end to this wait seemingly in sight, well, there is actually something that you can do to get progress. I'm gonna tell you in this video about a powerful tool to get your case unstuck, to finally get your asylum interview scheduled. But listen, getting your interview scheduled is only half the battle. You still need to win your case, because it's no use getting a decision if it's a negative decision, right? Well, the good news is that there's a lot you can still do to strengthen your case and prepare for your interview in a way that will greatly increase your chances for success. You can take action to put yourself in the best possible position to win your asylum case. In this video, I'm going to tell you about the powerful 1-2 punch for people who want to get their asylum interview scheduled and who are committed to taking action to actually improve their chances for asylum success. I'm Brian Manning, and I used to be an asylum officer with the government, but now as an asylum lawyer, well, I help immigrants all over the country to secure their future in America through asylum. Let me know in the comments if you've got an asylum case pending, or maybe you're considering applying for asylum. And listen, I'd especially like to hear from you if you've been waiting for an asylum interview for multiple years. Okay, so we're covering two things today. First, what you can do to get your asylum interview scheduled, and second, what you can do to actually improve your odds for winning your asylum case. So first up, how can you move your stalled case forward? How can you get USCIS to finally schedule your asylum interview so that you can explain your case, get a decision, and then move on with your life with certainty around your future in the United States? Well, if you've been waiting for multiple years for your asylum interview, you may be able to force USCIS to give it to you by suing the government in federal court. It's called a Mandamus Lawsuit, and it's a powerful tool that we've been using to great effect of late in my law firm. A Mandamus Lawsuit is a legal action that you can bring when USCIS fails to schedule an interview within a reasonable time frame. And this lawsuit compels the agency to perform its duty via a federal court order. Unlike other methods for trying to get USCIS to actually take action, a Mandamus lawsuit is a forceful approach that cuts through the bureaucratic delays. Now, the basis of the lawsuit is the requirement for USCIS to act on immigration applications within a reasonable time frame. And when they fail to do that, individuals can initiate a Mandamus lawsuit. If a federal judge deems USCIS's delay unreasonable, well, then an order is issued compelling the agency to move forward. Now, the eligibility for initiating a Mandamus lawsuit centers around the reasonableness of the delay by USCIS. And there's no fixed standard defining a reasonable wait, but experience suggests that suing less than 3 years after applying for asylum, well, has a low chance for success, while longer delays, such as, let's say, 5 years or more, well, that significantly improves the likelihood of success with a Mandamus lawsuit. Now, this process involves filing a complaint in a federal court, and this document outlines the undue delay and argues for the legal entitlement to an interview based on federal law. Now, given the technical nature of these filings and the potential for dismissal due to even the smallest error, it is advisable to seek legal representation for this. Now, once the complaint is filed with the court, the people that you're suing, the defendants, well, they have 60 days to respond and tell the judge what their position is on the case. Now, often during this time, the government, well, they prefer to settle rather than engage in a lengthy battle, and they agree to schedule your interview. So the government lawyer calls me and says, "Oh, Brian, you know what? We don't really want to fight this one. If your client will just agree to drop the lawsuit, then we'll give them the interview and the decision." Now listen, I'm confident that suing the government will not negatively affect your underlying asylum case. The asylum officer who ultimately does your interview and makes the decision, they might not even be aware of the lawsuit. And also, litigation is not viewed so negatively within the United States. It just does not carry the kind of negative stigma that it might in some other countries. Also, and importantly, an asylum claim cannot be denied based on the applicant's decision to file a lawsuit. It's just not a factor that can be used to justify a negative asylum decision. By the way, if you want to maximize your chances for asylum success, then be sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell notification so that you don't miss the insights that I share here on this channel. Okay, we've talked about what to do to get your interview. Now, let's turn to what you need to do to actually win your case, to prepare to have a great asylum interview. Now, there are two core things that you need to do before your interview. First, I urge you to submit what I call an Asylum Road Map. Now, this is a packet in which you're explaining your case in writing, providing the officer with everything that she needs to know ahead of time in order to conclude that yes, you meet all the requirements for asylum. An asylum roadmap consists of three things. 1, your declaration, 2, evidence, and 3, country conditions information that supports your case. Now, if you already submitted these 3 items with your application materials, well, then you're probably going to want to update them now since you applied for asylum years ago, and a lot has probably changed since then. When someone hires my law firm after they've already applied for asylum on their own, well, we sometimes have them do a supplemental declaration, but we sometimes don't. It's actually kind of a tricky issue that we handle on a case-by-case basis, but we always make a list of additional evidence that we ask our clients to try to get. And we also always write a legal brief where we're applying the facts of the case to the law and working through the asylum analysis to show that our client deserves and is entitled to asylum. And in our legal brief, we cite relevant country conditions information, including various reports, news articles, and the like, and then we include those source materials behind the legal brief. If you don't have a lawyer, then you should not try to do a legal brief, but you should provide additional evidence if you've been able to acquire any since you applied, and also you should provide relevant country conditions information, ensuring that it's recent. I'm going to leave a link in the description to a full-length training all about the asylum roadmap, and you definitely need to watch it if you don't have an asylum lawyer. Okay, the other crucial element in setting yourself up for asylum success is preparation for the interview. So how do you prepare? Well, ideally with a full-scale mock interview. Now, we do an intensive practice interview with our clients where they experience everything that they're going to face on the day of the real interview. And this is key because the real interview is much harder than people expect. You see, the officer doesn't just let you sort of tell your story and explain yourself. Rather, they're going to ask you question after question after question. They're constantly interrupting you. They're changing topics frequently. And the truth is that some of these officers are anti-immigrant and they're just looking for excuses to deny you. But listen, with the right preparation, you can go into your interview with confidence. You can go into it feeling prepared because with the practice interview, you already know what kind of questions to expect. You know what it feels like to be in this position, and you know what all the different procedures for the day are. And this practice is going to give you peace of mind and help you tell your story in a compelling way on the day of your real interview. Now, if you don't have a lawyer or your lawyer maybe isn't willing to do a full-scale mock interview with you, and most of them are not, then you should at least practice telling your story to a trusted friend or family member. And actually, you should do it multiple times to get comfortable talking about difficult topics. And finally, if you really want to give yourself the best chance for success, then you need an asylum lawyer to represent you during your interview. Listen, it can make a huge difference in how you are treated and in terms of ensuring that the officer understands your case. If you're ready to take the next step and get help with your asylum case, then call my office today. That number is 713-909-0401. And remember, we help people all over the country, so it doesn't matter where you live. Call us now to schedule an asylum strategy session so that we can help you to secure your future in America through asylum. Again, I'm Brian Manning, and it's an honor to serve you in your asylum journey.